question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Tuesday night. We are rolling on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, and on Twitch. It is episode 165 of the Throwdown. I'm your host, Matt. And last night we threw down with a 25-year veteran of the business, Austin Aries, which if you didn't see it, I highly encourage you to go check it out on YouTube. It was an amazing conversation. Tonight we are doing the opposite and throwing down with a young man who is just in the early stages of his career. He trains at the House of Champions in Orlando, Florida, and is tearing up the indie scene in Florida and expanding outward. Ladies and gentlemen, the future Destin. How you doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. I've been definitely looking forward to this one. And for those of you that are watching this live, if you have questions or comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. And noticing we're already getting some activity over in the Instagram chat. We've got Starry Space saying cool wrestler alert. We've got Fury. We've got, looks like Osedwa. I'm not sure who that is, but anyway. So we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and get started with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
I have been wrestling for just a little bit over 2 years. I started training at the HOC in September 2024. So, little minute.
Gotcha. So I guess, training at the HOC, you've had the pleasure of training under Kakoa and several others, Bobby Fish. Who else there has actually actively trained you?
I have learned from Jamie Stanley, Kekoa, Bobby Fish, and Bowen, who he's from the UK and he's recently come down to Florida. Very talented. But those are the 4 coaches from the HOC that I've trained from.
Gotcha. So prior to embarking into the world of professional wrestling, did you have an athletic background? Had you played sports, done martial arts, any of that kind of stuff prior to starting this?
It's funny because my background is really random, but I did a lot of random stuff. Like I did theater when I was younger. I've done a couple musicals here and there. I did ballet for a couple years, which I'm not even joking. It honestly helped a lot with wrestling, like coordination and stuff. Really good.
Oh, yeah.
I did football before I started wrestling. And funny story about that, I played 1 season and they threw me on the O-line the entire time. And I have never played football again in my life. Like that was to know. But after that, I was like, I always wanted to be a wrestler. I'll look into it. And I just started. Since then, just shot up with it.
Gotcha. So, in terms of the early portions of your training, what would you say was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to kind of wrap your mind and body around?
Honestly, just the mental, like getting into it at my size, it was challenging for me because like starting, I got a little bit bigger. I'm still small, but like starting out, I was like 5'6", 140 pounds. Like I was like small. So getting in there with 6'4", 250-pound man that's gonna body slam you, it's very intimidating. So like my first couple months, I was like scared, but the thing with the Hawk that I love is we have a curriculum, and like the way that I
Mhm.
was slowly eased into things, it helped me a lot because it was like, you know what, okay, I can do this. I'm tackling one thing at a time. I can do it. All right, I got that down. Now it's time to move on to the next thing. I can do it. Like it was way easier than just getting thrown in the ring on day 2, and it's like, all right, take a Japanese arm drag. like way easier than all of that. So I'd say my biggest challenge was going in at my size and being the small guy, but I made it work so far. So yeah.
Awesome. You know, it's funny. When I was at the age where I could have potentially pursued trying to get into the business myself, it was still very much the land of the giants. And you know, and at my size, there was just going to be no way at that time that I would have been able to get into the business, let alone succeed.
Yeah.
So now it really does my heart good watching the smaller, super athletic guys really getting out there and tearing it up, you know. Um, but but I mean, I know what you mean because you know, several years ago, for a few years, I trained in Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
Hmm.
and I was usually both the smallest and the oldest guy in the class. So I had two disadvantages there. So you know, the first couple of years I had to play a very mobile game because if I let these younger, bigger, stronger guys get on top of me, I was doomed. You know? So, but I know what you mean. You know, being the small guy is tough.
Hmm. Yeah, but you learn to work with it and make it into
Oh
not
yeah,
step back, but to bring you up.
absolutely. So, I'm presuming that you've been at least a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. No, not really.
Oh no, I meant my whole. No, I was saying my whole life, like my
Oh,
whole.
your whole life. Gotcha. Okay.
Just,
So what would you say is your earliest wrestling related memory?
it's so random, but I remember it so vividly because it was Mark Henry versus Sheamus, and it was nothing about the match, but I was watching their entrances, and Sheamus was always my favorite. So it's like when Sheamus was on the TV, I was locked in. But then I saw Mark Henry make an entrance, and my last name is Henry. So when I saw Mark Henry, it was like my little brain put it together, and I was like, wait, I could be a wrestler. And that was like the start of the whole I want to be a wrestler. I saw Mark Henry make his entrance, and I saw Henry pop up, and I was like, that could be me. And ever since then,
Yeah,
be a wrestler. Like, honestly.
absolutely. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Honestly, other than wrestling, it's just gaming. Like I'm a very generic person. I either wrestle or I play video games. I've been stuck on Marvel Rivals a lot recently. It's just a basically 6 teams of different heroes fight for getting an objective, but that's the game that I've been stuck on recently. Growing up, it was Fortnite, just a battle royal game, but it's always been video games growing up. I would find something. Of course, I played WWE, but I feel like that's a basic answer, so I didn't want that to be first. But that's a game I played too.
Gotcha. So, you know, we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture, and I'm always looking for recommendations. So, by any chance, are you watching or listening to anything cool right now?
Watching, not really, because all I watch is wrestling. Like I've been watching Ricky Steamboat. That's what I'd say is cool. But listening, the rapper I listen to a lot, his name is Fade. And he's like not like the most known rapper, but I every single time I work out, he's using my like AirPods. So if you wanted to check out someone, I'd say check out Nino Paid.
Gotcha. So, Starry Space in the Instagram chat is asking a very important question here. What is your favorite video game of all time?
Of all time,
Yeah.
that's actually ooh. There's two that came to mind. One's basic and one's not. The basic answer I'd say is Minecraft, because that is what I would always play as a kid. That's like a go-to. My not basic answer is called Ninja Gaiden 3. It's literally a game where you're just a ninja and you're going through and like protecting the city, but it's like it was my favorite game. Like that's probably one of my favorite all time. Minecraft and Ninja Gaiden 3. Those were very fun games.
Gotcha. So this is another question relating to outside of wrestling.
Yep.
And that is, outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
Honestly, my dad. My dad is who first came to mind, because I don't want to like say too much of his personal stuff like online, but a quick story about my dad is he used to live in California and he wasn't in the best environment, I could say. So he had my two older sisters, and he realized that. So he took himself and literally went from California to Florida and like moved all the way across the United States and like changed his life around. And like that to me, that like shows how he saw himself in a bad environment and he took him out of it. And that kind of is deep to me, and that always sits with me. So like my biggest inspiration on being a good person, I try to be as much like my dad as possible, because like he's like who I want to be when I'm older.
Man, that is beautiful. And you know, the love you have for that man just shone through right now, man. And I love seeing stuff like that, you know, because there are too many bad familial relationships in the world, man, and good ones are just so important.
I love that so much. Like I wouldn't be
So, you know, I know very well that the physical side of professional wrestling is very important. So, you know, in terms of the gym, is there an exercise in particular that you feel is most important to keeping Destin?
I don't know if it would be considered an exercise, but I'd say stretching. Because honestly, there's a lot of people who like try to get big and strong, but like if you don't stretch, you can't move that well in the ring. And my whole thing is I use my speed and my quickness. So like being like my muscles aren't tense all the time because I stretch a lot. Like it helps me do more things than what other people would be able to do. Like I can do backflips and not a backflip. I'm not that good at backflips yet. I can do backflips with help and stuff, like just because of stretching and all that. So that's where my mind first went, to stretching.
Gotcha. So, I'm guessing, based on what you were just saying, that you are pretty much from the Orlando, Central Florida area. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I live right in Sanford, so it's like right above Orlando.
Gotcha. Yeah. As a kid, I lived for about 7 years in the Cocoa Beach area, so I'm familiar with Central Florida. And actually, Florida was where my wrestling fandom began. I mean, I was an 11-year-old kid watching the old Florida Championship Wrestling back in the early '80s with Gordon Soley doing the commentary, and Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan were my first feud that I remember watching. So yeah, it's yeah, Florida's got some good memories.
Yeah, Florida. I feel like Florida is one of the good places to be if you want to be a pro wrestler, because that's where like everything is. Like
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I mean, based on everything that you've said, it definitely sounds like your family is extremely supportive of what you're doing.
100.
Um, I'm presuming they come out to most, if not all, of your shows.
Yeah, my parents are at majority of them, and I try to get my siblings there. It's not 100%, but I try my best. So, but no,
Gotcha.
they're at majority of them. My mom, she like she got mad at me one time because I didn't know I was gonna wrestle. I just came to help, and they like threw me on the card, and she was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" Blah blah blah, and I'm like, "I didn't know." Like I can't. I didn't
Yeah,
know. But they're
exactly. They say, they always tell young wrestlers, always have your gear, because you just never know if suddenly you're going to end up on a show. So
everywhere outside of Hawk I've ever wrestled, I've gotten on the show because they were like, "Do you have your gear?" Yes. Okay, here you go. Like honestly, always I can't stress enough because I've seen it happen to people where they've gotten offered stuff and they haven't had their gear, and I'm just like, it's rule number one: just bring it. Always bring the gear. Like, you need to.
absolutely. So, I know you're still comparatively new to this, and everything is probably still kind of a work in progress in terms of figuring out your persona and such. But they say that the best wrestling personas are usually yourself turned up to 11. So
Mhm.
tell us a bit about in-ring Destin, and kind of talk about the development of your character and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
Well, my character, honestly, I was lost when I was making, like, when I was trying to think about who I wanted to be in wrestling. My mind started going in a bunch of different directions. First, I didn't know who I was. Like, it took me months, but I started to think about play on words with other things, and the word destiny always stuck out to me because, like, your destiny is something that no matter what happens in your life, it's going to get achieved, and it's something that you're going to work to. So I was like, okay, I feel it's my destiny to be a pro wrestler. So then I took off the Y and I was like, Destin. I kind of like that name. All right, I'll go with Destin. And then I started, it's honestly true, just turning yourself up to 100 because, like, I'm not the most energetic person outside of wrestling, I'd say. Like, I'm more of like a mellow, like, unless I'm with my friends. If I'm with my friends, I'm energetic. Like, other than
Yeah.
that, or just like a chill, just sit there kind of vibe type of person. But like when I put on the blue bandana and put on the tights, it's like I can feel the energy like starting. Then as soon as I walk through the curtain, it's like a firework going off. Like I feel that all the energy that I usually have is kind of bottled up until I am destined. And then that's like me finally, being who myself instead of Daniel. It's like a shift. It's like a light switch in my head. I was trying to think of like something to compare it to, but it's like a light switch in my head where like I'm Daniel and then I can switch on to Destin, and it's like just a back and forth of it. But honestly, I'm struggling with character a lot. Like I'm gonna be fully transparent. I'm not 100% there with my character, but I'm starting to find out who I am in the world of wrestling because my main thing is I don't want to be generic. I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to be different. And that's where I struggle because I'm trying to find out, okay, what makes me different? Like, I know my age. That's what I've been playing off of the whole time. My age is what makes me different. But I'm still trying to find out, exactly where I stand in pro wrestling. But I know it'll come through soon. It's all starting to connect now. So I know eventually it'll click. But right now, Destin's just an energetic, happy person he's glad to be in pro wrestling and he'll do anything he can to prove himself. So that's who I am for right
Absolutely. And I had Big Boy Patty and a couple of other people on recently from the HOC, and I mentioned that you were coming on, man, and you are just universally loved by the folks that I've talked to about you. So your reputation definitely is stellar.
Yeah. Thank
So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts? Let's hear about the first one.
I'm gonna give you two options. Do you want my first match or my first ever recorded match? Which one do you want to hear the story?
Let's hear both.
Okay, so my first ever match, it was for an open house for the HOC. So George, they did a battle royal at the end, right? And George ended up winning. And Javon Evans came over earlier, so he just like tapped me on the shoulder and he was like, "I'm gonna go in the ring, just hit me with a Rana. That's it." And I was like, "Okay, sure." He gets in the ring, he does something with George. He looks at me and I'm like, "Okay, my time to go." I run in the ring, I hit the Rana. We're all hyped. I don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden Javon said, "You know what? It's a triple threat match." And I'm standing there, and in my head, I'm like, "You did not tell me about a match. I don't know what I'm about to do." Like, I started so scared. I was like, "What's about to happen?" So like, I think my mom has a video, and if I can find it and send it to you after this, I will. But the match starts, and I'm just standing there in a corner, and it's like George and Javon walk up to each other, and I'm just standing there. I'm just like, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." And it was so funny. But we got like Javon was walking me through the whole thing. It was literally like 5 minutes, and it was so easy. But I had so much fun afterwards. Like I enjoyed it a lot. But I was so scared in the moment. I was like, I don't know what's about to happen.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then my first ever recorded match, which was for the HOC student shows, it was against Baracco. And we like advertised Destin's gonna debut. It's Destin's debut. I'm fighting the champion. They did not announce that. So I walk in the building, and then they're like, "You know who it is? Baracco." And then it's like, "Oh shit." So I go out there, I get murdered. Like literally, I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes of just me getting beat up and then choke slammed. But honestly, it helped me a lot because I feel like if I was to go out there and start doing a lot, I would have gotten nervous and I would have messed up. Just going out there and it's like, okay, I'm getting beat up. That's all that's happened. I'm just getting beat up. I felt more comfortable and I felt like I was able to get those nerves out. So then over time, when like I actually started having better matches and doing more stuff, I wasn't as nervous because it's like, okay, I know what the cameras feel like now. I'm not going to be stressing about it. But yeah, those are
Gotcha.
my two stories.
So we've heard about the first one. Now tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of so far.
Um, On the first one that comes to mind, have you heard of Mikey Spandex? He's like a really good wrestler in Florida.
Yeah,
Mikey.
I've heard of him.
I had like a little trilogy with Mikey at Hawk where we wrestled 2 times. The first time he beat me and I called him back out, and then he low blowed me. So we had a 2 out of 3 falls match to finish it. And basically, I don't remember like the whole match word for word, but I remember he got DQ'd because he lowered me. So I got 1 point. And then he pinned me right after that. So it was 1-1. And then we started wrestling. Match was going really well. And at the very end, so he was messing with my little brother the whole time. So my mom smacked him. And I think my mom got a better pop than I ever got inside of a wrestling. Because when the whole entire place went crazy. And like, it was just perfect. Because like, I'm very big on family. And like, I love involving my family in things. So like, having my mom be able to be part of the match, that was like special. And like, it was so funny because she was so stressed about it, but she did it perfectly. Like she was like practicing, like putting her hand on my cheek, and I was like, "Mom, you're fine. Just smack him." Like literally, that's. Yeah. He's like, "But I don't know. I never hit someone." And I'm like, "Mom, just open your hand and just smack him." No, but she did, and it was perfect.
That's awesome. Is that recorded anywhere?
Yes, it's on the HOC's YouTube channel. It was Legacy of Champions last year. Me and Mikey's 2 out of 3 falls. Yeah. It was
okay. So... I will have to look that up. I've got to see your mom smack him.
I can send it to you after this 100%. It was so perfect.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. So, I know that there are essentially 2.5 ways of preparing for a match. You can either work it out with your opponent in the back, call it in the ring, or do a little bit of both. Have you found a way that you like doing it so far? Do you prefer to kind of work it out, or do you like to call it, or how do you like to do it?
Honestly, I'm the type of person to where I'm cool with whatever my opponent does. Like my opponent, whatever they say, I'm cool with. But like with me, I'd mix it. I'd like to call like the big part, like where I know I want to get the crowd engaged and where I want like something to happen. I'll call those moments, but like the in betweens and stuff, usually it's just like, okay, we'll find our way there. Like we'll work around a little bit. We'll find our way to spots, but like it's not like a whole layout of I move this way, you do this, then I do that. Like I don't like that because I feel like I'll stress myself out because I'll try to overthink it and then I'll mess up and then I'll realize I messed up and then I'll start messing up more. And it's like, no, just get me to where, okay, once I'm in the corner, then this spot. All right. Then a couple minutes after, you'll get me down. Then you'll do something to signal this spot happen. Like instead of just planning it all out, you know where the spots are going to happen and just work your way to those areas. Like that's how I like to do it. But it's a flavors of ice cream thing. As my coach always says, some people like chocolate, some people like vanilla. I like my flavor, but I'm cool with whatever my opponents call. Majority of the time, I'm able to, if it's a lot, I'll stress myself, but I'm able to get it done with. So I'll be good.
Gotcha. Looking over at the Instagram chat, Starry Space and Alana Alicia are cracking me up. I mean that they are going back and forth in the chat, just having the best time. It's hilarious.
Sneaky. What do you want? You want to make yourself known? This is my little brother Hunter. He wants to make himself known, so I'm including him now. What
Hey,
do you
Hunter.
want? Say hi. Okay. Now can you get out? Just get out right now. I will make you some in a little bit. Let me do this first. Thank you. All right.
So,
I need to find a way to pull up the Instagram chat. I don't know.
So if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic? It's a tough question.
Good. Yeah. Honestly, I'd probably say in ring just because, well, because there's a lot of people that like they got really good mic skills, but they're not the best in ring, and that's how they've made it. But I feel like me personally, I'd want it to be better in ring because I feel like mics, like that's you can always work on either of them, but I feel like promos are at least a little bit easier to pick up than in ring stuff because in ring it's a lot of like mental and physical, while promo it's just mental. If that makes sense. So I'd say I'd rather be better in ring and just work on my promos a lot better because the reverse of that would be way more difficult.
Gotcha. So I'm guessing just based upon what I know about how you portray yourself in the ring that you're primarily working babyface at this point. Is that pretty correct? Have you worked heel at all?
I have, and I hate it. I have worked heel, and I'll do it. If you want me to work heel, I will be a heel. But I have always said I am such a better babyface than I am a heel. I can be mean, but it's like I just like being a face. I don't know why. It's like the cheers. I like getting cheered way more than I like getting booed. But nah, I think once I get older, it'll probably switch though. Like once I get bigger, I'll probably be like, you know what? Now it's time. But nah,
yeah.
I like being the good guy.
Nothing wrong with that. So, so I mean, you've only been, like you said, doing this really the last couple of years, but have you had any unusual or funny encounters with fans?
With fans?
Yeah, have you had any unusual encounters with a fan?
Honestly, not really. No, I think it's because I'm still new, so I haven't had any weird moments yet. I've had a lot of fans who've like. I think I've had people who have tried to be nice to me, but like the way that they say it, it comes out a little weird. So like that's.
Yeah.
I've had someone. They're like. They were just talking about my age and they kept on bringing it up. And I was like, yeah, I'm just young. And they were like, but yeah, you shouldn't be doing this at that age. And I was like, I mean, I am though. Like, I don't know. like, hey, I am, but okay. But no, not anything weird or unusual. Like, just everyone's been nice so far. I've been pretty good. Once I become a heel, then maybe, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe
So,
stuff.
so in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who would you say are some of your influences?
Promos wise, I studied a lot of Kevin Owens because that one promo of him talking about Sammy, like when he was getting signed, he basically cut a promo on Sami Zayn talking about like he saw him sign that he saw the ink dry on the paper, like, and just after that promo, I started like going in depth with like Kevin Owens and like he cuts a promo,
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, like, he's really good. So for promos wise, I've been studying him. My coach made me study Cena a lot because he was like, "You're a baby, study Cena promos." That was nailed into my head. Promos wise, I'm trying to think of more people I study for promos. Mostly them though. Honestly, I know there's a lot of people that cut promos, but mostly them. For in-ring stuff though, every baby, a lot of baby faces. Recently, and Kakoa's gonna pop for this one, Ricky Steamboat. I have been watching a lot of Ricky Steamboat. He told me to a while ago, and I never like actually have until I saw. I think it was Steamboat versus Rick Rude. I'm pretty sure. I seen that match, and I was like, okay, you know what? I was sleeping. Let me let me lock in with Rick. I mean, let me rock in with Ricky Steamboat. But nah, he's really good. Him. I watch a lot of Styles, Balor, just people who aren't the biggest, but aren't like high flyers either. Like, of course they do high moves, but more technical, smaller people. If that makes sense. That's who I'm trying
Right.
to my stuff from.
Right. Right. Yeah, I absolutely love Kevin Owens too, and have you taken the time to go back and look at some of his stuff when he was Kevin Steen on the Indies and in
I
Ring of Honor? Man, Kevin Steen was a savage.
oh,
I mean,
him versus El Generico, and I forgot what exact type of match it was, but I remember it was crazy. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, they used to.
I mean, those two guys have just amazing chemistry.
Yeah,
When you put them in the ring together, it's just going to be sick. I mean.
100%.
Um, and a match that I will pass along to you because I always recommend this match to young wrestlers as far as just a master class in storytelling and in-ring psychology from back in 1989, and it's out on YouTube. You can find it. There was an I Quit match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk it was an old WCW Clash of the Champions.
Mm-hmm.
That match, you'll thank me later. That's your homework. Go find that match and watch it and just absorb it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I always like recommendations, so I'm gonna watch that tonight. 100%.
So that's actually kind of a perfect segue to the next topic, and that is, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan?
All-time favorite match. There's a lot of options. All-time favorite. As of right now, because I've been studying a lot of older stuff, but I'm trying to think what's a match that like I saw and I was like, that's the best match I've ever seen in my life. I know it's a lot recent, so all time might sound crazy for this answer, but the first thing that came to mind, the triple threat at Mania, where it was Gunther, McIntyre, and Sheamus. I've shown that match to like 20 people and turned them into wrestling fans just off of that match alone. Like literally, that match is the first one that like came to mind as like one of my favorites that like I will always go back and watch it. Like that triple threat was crazy. Taker versus Michaels, obviously I think that's everyone's answer. But like that's one of my favorites without a doubt. Just everything about that match was so perfect. I'm trying to think of more like answers that aren't generic. Like what's something I saw recently that I liked? I don't know, something's gonna pop in head, but The triple threat from Mania. That was the first thing that came in mind for sure. That match is really good.
Gotcha. So, kind of piggybacking onto that question, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
The Dolph Ziggler promo, It Should Have Been Me, where he was cutting it, the whole, I see that whole build up to the story and everything. That promo, like, I to build my character to a point where I could promo exactly like that. Like, honestly, like, no, I thought it was great. And the whole story with Ziggler's whole time in WWE, like, it was like it's stuffed in the bottle until it just exploded that night. Like, nah, that promo 100% is my favorite. That one and the Kevin Owens one that I mentioned earlier. I can't leave that one out.
Gotcha. Well, Starry Space actually had a question in the chat, and I'm just gonna say we're actually gonna get to that topic in a little bit. So I do see the question, and it will be answered. Um, so in your opinion, who at this moment in time, who are the best male and best female wrestlers in the world? One man and one woman. Who are your top?
One man and one woman. Female, first thing that came to mind is Rhea, because I think Rhea is just on another level than everyone else. Like, Rhea is doing so good. Like, I don't know. I genuinely didn't know, like, because she was just built so strong and so, like, Rhea is so great. She's the first woman that came to mind. And for man, as of right, honestly, I'm gonna say Sami Zayn, just because those like U.S. title like open challenges, every single match was a banger. Like, there was not one.
Oh
bad
yeah,
match. He's consistently put on like just great work, especially when like giving him not the best to work with, and he's made it into. Sami, I think he deserves a lot. Like, Sammy's doing really good right now. So
oh for sure.
that's
That final match that he had with Ilya Dragunov the other day was just sick. I mean, I just, man, and having the surprise return from Dragunov and having Zayn put him over, that was just that was beautiful.
yeah. I knew Miz was gonna get attacked, but I did not expect Dragunov. Like, when Miz came out, I was
No,
like, all right, who else is it gonna be? But no, that caught me so off guard. But no,
yeah. And I'm right there with you about Rhea Ripley, and I've mentioned this before, but now that she is in the WWE system, I am dying for Rhea and Jordan Grace to work a program together. I think those two could tear the house down.
that could be a main event to any pay-per-view right there. Like, honestly, like, that would be great. I didn't even think about that match till now. Actually, that would be really nice. Like, Grace for, I like that. I gotta see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Alana Alicia actually has a question, and that is, how do you balance school and wrestling?
Honestly, it's hard. It's hard, but
I'm sure.
I was able to work it out with my counselors to where I have majority of the credits that I need. So this year I don't have a first or second period. So it's like I get to school later and I can sleep in more. But like, honestly, it was just going to school very tired in the morning, because last year my schedule would be I wake up, I go to school, straight from school to wrestling, straight from wrestling back home. And then it's like literally just a cycle over and over. And I wouldn't have that much time to actually sleep. So I'd be like drained every day. But over time, like, I think I've gotten it into a system so my body knows I'm not going to get that much sleep. So I'm used to it now. But it's just honestly staying committed with it. Like, it's going to be difficult, but as long as you push with it, you will make it. Like, school's a lot, but you can balance 100%. If I had a job with it though, that would I would not, I would not be able to balance all three. That's too much.
No doubt, no doubt. So who and this can be present day or past, and I'm sure being as new to the business as you are, this is probably a list that is just miles long. But who would be a dream opponent for you? But you already mentioned, getting back in there with Javon and GMJ. But
Match.
who else would be some dream opponents for you?
Do you want me to say Florida indie names, or do you want me to say WWE names?
All of the above.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with indie because this is me just manifesting right now. I want a single match with Daniel Sterling, 100%. That's gotta happen in the future. Singles match with Noah Vale. I know I want to wrestle Noah. They're so good, like 100%. There's more people. My mind is just blanking, but I know there's so much more people. Better Together. I want to have a tag match. Me and Mo versus Better Together. I'm manifesting that right now because me and Mo have tagged a couple of times. So I'm gonna say me and Mo versus Better Together. I want that match to happen. There's a lot of people from the Hawk I want to wrestle outside of the HOC, like Max Danziger, Mo Malik, Matthew Ennis, like all these people I want to wrestle outside of the Hawk just setting too, just to see like what we could come up with, like out of curiosity. Yeah. But those are some like Florida people. WWE wise, I'm so sad because I know he's near the end of his career, so I don't think this match will ever happen. But if I had one choice, AJ Styles. I want to wrestle AJ so bad. Like I know it's probably like age wise, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But like even if I could just get in there and chain around with AJ when he's like 50 something, I don't care. I'll take that. like I just want to get in the ring with AJ. I want to wrestle Breaker. I know he'll kill me, but Braun Breaker. I want to see how bad I can get killed by Braun Breaker. That's questionable. Honestly, anyone. I just want to wrestle. I want to go in there with anybody. Like, there's a bunch of names in my head.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would love to just get speared by Braun Breaker just to experience it. I mean,
yeah, that's curiosity. Like, it might sound a little crazy, but I'm just curious. I just want to know. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, watching I Show Speed get annihilated. I mean, I just
I was like, gosh, this is crazy.
Yep. So, of your friends and cohorts out there on the indies, who would you say has the best walkout? Who presents themselves the best on their way to the ring?
I'm gonna hate myself for giving him praise. Okay, I don't want this to be the answer, but it is the first name that I thought I have to say it. Mr. Casey Bye. So his whole like what he has built with the Vine method and like just his whole presentation, like as soon as the song starts, it's just immediate boos because people already know like what type of dumb stuff he's gonna be on. But first name in the kingdom, like Casey Bye, he 100% like his whole presentation is just another level than other people, and I hate giving him praise. I don't like Casey Bye, but he is the first name that I thought of. So Casey's really good. Kekoa, my coach Kekoa, his like whole the Hawaiian Warrior, like, and he changed his theme song, so like he has like he had a good theme song and he has an even better one now. So it's like, okay, like you just made it better. But nah, his whole presentation of like him as the warrior and stuff, like nah, he's probably up there.
Gotcha. Yeah, you had mentioned Max Danziger. He's somebody else that I've had on the show in the past, man. And I'm when I first got started doing this live streaming, for about the first 6 months, I was actually doing this type of thing, but with unsigned music bands. I'm a hobbyist musician. I'm a bass player. And so, the occasions where I get somebody that actually walks in both worlds music and wrestling. It was such a treat having Max on the show because we were able to talk shop about music and about wrestling. And he is a great cat, man. I love Max to death. He's awesome.
Max is so nice. Like, I love Max. He's the best. Except for when he's being a jerk. Other than that,
yeah,
yeah. Except for his mood, he's a really nice guy. Yeah. But no, Max is.
So we're actually going to get to Starry Space's question now, and that is, it's sort of woven into this question, and that is, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
A move I really like to give. I have a basic answer. I'm gonna think of but the basic answer is drop kick because I made my drop kick look a lot better. Like, it used to be really trash. I won't even like sugarcoat it. It used to look like trash, but I've cleaned up my drop kick a lot, so I can throw a really good drop kick. And sliced bread. I love doing sliced bread after you grab the back, like the run up with the corner. I love that move so much. It's like I pop myself doing it. Like, yeah. And a move I didn't do. I mean, it's not considered a move, but I'm not taking attack bump. I'm not taking a bump like thumbtack, like the death match stuff. You would never catch me doing that ever in my life. Like light tubes, none of that crazy. No, chairs, tables, kendo sticks, maybe ladders. Those are the 4 you will ever see me use. Like nothing more crazy than that. Like, I respect people who can, but I'm too scared. I'm not even gonna sugar. I'm too scared. I'm not.
Oh yeah.
That's.
I've had some deathmatch people on the show, and those folks are a different breed. I mean,
yeah.
It's funny though, having talked to them. I always ask them, what is the thing they dread the most bumping onto? And it's not tacks, it's not light tubes, it's Legos. Because, well, I don't know if you've ever stepped on a Lego, but that hurts. And I couldn't imagine getting power bombed onto a bunch of Legos. That would just be awful.
Yeah, nah. I'm trying to think, like, compared to tacks, I don't know which one would hurt more. Like, honestly, like, because tacks, I don't even want to think about it. My back hurts now. But honestly, I don't think I'd ever take any of those crazy bumps. Like, I'm trying to think what I would do. And I don't like generic weapons. A TLC match, like the stuff you would see in a WWE TLC match, that's as crazy as I'll get with weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's a lot of fun.
So, thus far, in your short wrestling career, what is the worst bump you have taken?
The first time I ever got chokeslammed, I thought I actually died for like 2 seconds. Like, I was laying there and like the only way, it sounds really weird and people like told me to describe it, and the only way I can describe it, my chest felt hollow. Like, I felt like I hit the ground and like I felt like my bones shake. And it was like, oh my gosh. Like, I never like, I've taken choke slams after that and it wasn't as bad. But like the first time I ever got choke slammed, I think it's because I worked myself up about it so much in my head that like I literally scared myself taking it. But like, no, it absolutely sucked. That, and it's not really a bump, but I did take a splash from like a 300-pound man from the top rope. Wouldn't suggest doing that. That's not. Wouldn't suggest it to anyone. But
so who was it that gave you that first choke slam?
Baraka. It was Baraka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was my first match, the one that I told you I got completely.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I thought that I, but no. I will admit though, I will give him praise. I have gotten choked by Baraka after that, and it has felt better, so I won't blame him. It's on me that it hurt, but yeah, nah, it 100% killed me.
Gotcha. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
I think social media helps a lot with promoting an indie. Like there's a lot of negative in the rest of the social media world. Like there's a lot of bad when it comes to it, but I think with the bad there is good. Like the eyes you can get on your stuff through Instagram is so much more that you can get through other things. And like Renee, who's part owner of the HOC, she goes in depth with these things because she has like a degree in marketing and like she knows a lot about social media. So she'll like tell you social media is how you build your character. Like literally that's how you get yourself started. Building a good social media is how you can get eyes on you. And eyes on you, more reps, more experience. Like you have to have a good social media to be, I don't want to say to be someone, because like you can always be someone, but like to be a credible person in wrestling, you have to have the social media to back you up. You can't just say that you're good and then like not have anything to show. like I see social media as kind of like a receipt in wrestling. Like it shows you've been places, you know what you're doing, you have clips, you have like experience. If you're just going to wrestle someone and they don't have a single footage from any match they've ever had in the way, I'd be a little questionable. Like, okay. But no, I think social media helps a lot with just getting your name out there and getting eyes on you. Like, I need to post more on social media. I'll be honest. I post, but I'm slacking. I need to do a lot better. But it helps a lot, really.
Gotcha. So, do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Not trying to sound disgusting, but I try to use the bathroom before. I try to use the bathroom before every single show because I noticed it like the first couple shows, and I don't know if any other wrestlers can relate to this, but it's like as soon as the show starts, I have to use the bathroom, and it's like it doesn't make any sense, and I think it's just my brain messing with me. But it's like as soon as it hits like bell time, it's like my brain's like you got to go to the bathroom, and I'm like it stresses me out. So it's like I always make sure like 30 minutes before doors, I try to use the bathroom because like I'm not trying to use the bathroom in the ring. That would be way too embarrassing. I don't want that to happen. But that and just a couple push-ups, make my chest look a little bigger than it is. I know I'm small, but try to make my arm a little pumped up. Like give myself a light pump, but not really. No, I always pray before I go out through the curtain. Make sure me and my opponent pray for safety, pray for health, all that. Just make sure we're all okay. That's really it. Just bathroom, prayer, workout.
Gotcha. You know, the wrestlers that I've talked to who have been doing this for a long time, almost invariably, if not them, they know somebody who has crapped themselves in the ring. And it kind of comes with the territory. So
Yeah.
hopefully it never happens to you, but if it does, it does.
That's probably one of my biggest fears, honestly. I don't know what I would do in this situation. Like I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm hoping it never happens.
Gotcha. So just kind of a quick rundown. What all do you carry in your gear bag? And do you have anything unique or unusual that you carry in your gear?
I always have like 5 or 6 of these bandanas because I lost like one before, and like I always like have the bandana on, so it's like I always make sure I have multiple of those. But I wouldn't say I have anything really unique in it. Like I have my tights, my knee pads, my shoes, my hoodie, my wrist tape, deodorant because I don't want to smell. Just basic stuff, honestly. I always make sure it's gonna sound weird. I always make sure I bring fabric glue because I made my own hoodie and like the letters like to fall. So I always make sure I have glue just in case. But no, nothing really like crazy or outlandish out there. I always make sure I got a couple of snacks because I'm hungry. I try to eat, get a couple pretzels in there, a couple protein little things, but nah, nothing wild or outlandish. I know some people have like baby oil and stuff. I'm like, I don't need all. No, I'm chilling.
Gotcha. So Alana Alicia asked, What was the most difficult move you have learned so far? What's been the hardest thing for you to fully get a handle on?
Um, Hardest skill wise, mental wise, I'm gonna, because mentally I'm struggling with the back. That's the hardest, like, to actually jump up with it, because I don't know why, but whenever I go up like this, my body goes sideways. Like literally every single time I try to backflip, it's like I just turn in the air. Like it's not ever an actual backflip. So mentally, that one I probably struggle with. Physically, um, I'm trying to think. Honestly, just if I'm fighting a big man, I can't do body slams or like fireman care. Like I can get them up, but like safely and slam them, I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust myself. I wouldn't even try. Like I've given Baracco a body slam before, but like I was scared. I was scared, and I had to like just go with it. So I think physically, just moves that you would see a bigger man do, it would be more difficult for me because I am a smaller person. But like a lot of the high flying stuff, I kind of just commit and just go. So it's not really difficult. It's more of a fear than like not able to do it. But I power through.
Gotcha. So, do you have a favorite venue that you have wrestled in? Is there a place that's really special that you just really like the vibe and the energy of when you wrestle, or are they all kind of the same to you?
I mean, the HOC always has different. Like to me, I feel like the Hawk crowds are always just more active than other crowds, if that makes sense. Like there's always like, but like the HOC, it's like just they're just so excited to see wrestling that I don't want to say they'll get happy for anything because that's not true. I've seen them be quiet too. Like they'll give you more of a reaction than if I go somewhere that like doesn't know my face, because HOC, I'm known there. So like all at least when my music will know, oh, it's Destin. But like if I'm at don't know, my music plays, everyone's just silent. I'm like, okay, I gotta win over the crowd again and like, find a way to get myself over again. But no, I think the Hawks environment, I like their crowds a lot. I don't know if as a minor I should be saying it, but I have wrestled at bars before and like it's a lot of fun just because the just vibe of it, like wrestling in front of drunk fans is always funny. Like I remember one match I got called Julio. And like I don't know where they came up with Julio, but like it was me versus Patty, and like someone started a "Let's go Patty" chant, and I just heard "Let's go Julio," and then it just like "Let's go Julio," and then like I'm just wrestling with Patty. I'm like, "Who's Julio?" And then he's just like, "You." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay." Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey, I got a name now, Julio. That's what I'm calling. But yeah.
So something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my previous guests, an Atlanta area wrestler by the name of Stephen Colosi, posed this question, and that is, if you were an energy drink, what energy drink would you be?
I don't drink energy drinks a lot, but honestly, I'm trying to think which one is the one that my coach drinks a lot. I think it's Alani or something like that. No, actually, boom, that's what it is, Alani. Because I did help someone with like a little commercial for Alani, so that's where I'll go to, because I don't drink energy drinks a lot, but like I remember they recorded me getting a headlock takeover, then just panned over to the camera, then just panned over to the can. It was just like Alani, but that's probably would be my answer, the Alani drinks.
Gotcha. Well, Starry Space and Alana Alicia want to know if they can call you Julio from now on.
They can call me Julio. I don't think, even if I say yes or no, it's gonna happen. So I don't think I have a choice. I guess, yeah. I guess I'm Julio now. I started it again.
So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question you would like to pose to the next guest? And the next guest is GMJ.
Oh, okay, hold up. All right, you know a question for GMJ. I want you to ask him, who is your favorite kid at kids camp? Because he's a kids camp coach, and I know he's not expecting to be put on the dot, but tell him Destin wants to know who is the favorite out of everyone, and he has to give an answer. He can't bypass it. I need to know.
I will definitely ask him that. So we're getting pretty much to the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
I mean, Legacy of Champions, December 11th. It's a show in Orlando, Florida. It's literally House of Champions WrestleMania. Like, it's their biggest show. I know it's gonna be crazy. Like, it's gonna be so lit. There's a match called a Legacy match where it's basically, think Royal Rumble, but it ends in a title and it's not as much people. I know there's more stipulations to it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's a cool type of match. I know. I'm trying to remember because it was like, I think you get thrown over the top rope, but the last couple it's pinfall, I'm pretty sure. But the winner wins the HLC championship. So we have a men and women's match of that. It's just, the whole show is building up to be like a giant payoff to all the storylines that have been happening throughout the year. So Legacy of Champions, December 11th. CCP Podcasting, he's having a show November 22nd. I know that
Genesis, one. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Mo will be in a tag team match there. So if y'all do want to see Fire and Ice, he didn't approve of the name, but I'm gonna say it because Fire and Ice, I'm blue, he's red. So yeah, y'all want to see us?
There you go.
There we go. There's more. I just can't think without my calendar. I know I need my calendar in front of me, but just House of Champions, Establishment Wrestling, Mayhem on Mills. Those are the three main ones that I've been wrestling at recently. I'm trying to get more companies under my belt, but any of those, if you go to a show, I'm probably there. So you can find me there.
Gotcha. So Fury wants to know, who is your favorite sibling?
Who's my favorite sibling? He wants me to say him, but I'm not going to. I don't know. I'm gonna say my sister Diva. She passed away a year ago, but out of all of them, she's.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay, but she's my favorite sibling out of all of them. She was the nicest, so that's where my answer goes to. But yeah, she's my favorite. Gotcha.
And Starry Space wants to know if you're okay with others creating fan art for you.
Please, I'm literally, I will post any art there, any drawings, anything. Please, I would appreciate it so much. Like, I suck at drawing, so whenever I see drawings of myself, I think it's the coolest stuff ever. Like, honestly, if you want to, I would appreciate all of it, like 100%.
Gotcha. Well, as far as what we've got coming up here on the Throwdown, tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, I'm sorry, Thursday night, the 23rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 166, and our guest is Florida-based wrestler and like you were just saying, the kids coach at the Hawk, GMJ. And then Friday the 31st at 11 p.m. Eastern, the Throwdown takes its first trip down under for episode 167. Our guest, all the way from Australia, is pro wrestler The Outlier Kyla Knight. This one took a little bit of doing because there is a 14-hour time difference between Eastern time here in the U.S. and Australia time. So we're doing it at 11 p.m. Halloween night, which is 1 p.m. November the 1st for her. So this is going to be a lot of fun, but it definitely took some coordinating to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, November 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got episode 168, and our guest is pro wrestling legend, the outlandish Zicky Dice. Zicky is going to actually be fresh off of his debut in Power Slap in Abu Dhabi. And he's actually taking on another previous guest on the Throwdown, Marty Casaus, who was Marty the Moth in Lucha Underground, among other places. So Zicky is, I don't know if you're familiar with Zicky Dice, Destin, but he is a character.
The name sounds familiar. If I've seen his work, I might like correlate it in my head, but his name sounds really familiar.
Yeah, he had a pretty entertaining run in TNA a few years ago, and you know he's doing indies all over the place. I mean, he has worked shows in Alaska. I mean, and you know he's another guy that's been all over the world and has really done a lot. So he's another one that it's just going to be an honor to be able to pick his brain. But you know, before we wrap all of this up, do you have any final words for the audience?
No, I just want to thank everyone for joining in, you know, spending your time with us. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you for having me on the show. It was really fun and I enjoyed it, you know. And no, I'm just glad to be here. Hopefully I can have another one in the future. Like, hey.
Oh, for sure, man. You know, you can consider yourself part of the family here now, so you've got a standing invitation to come back.
Thank you.
And you know, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such on the web, thank you for that. You know, if you're so inclined, definitely give me a like and a follow. You know, all of my socials are on my link tree and my Instagram bio. So you know, take a few seconds and go give me a follow on all that stuff. And I guess at this point, until Thursday night at 7 with GMJ, be good to each other, love each other.